Hi, this is Lou, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing some really simple sketches of birds, in particular robins. The tutorial that I want to do this week, which will be up on Friday, is going to be a robin watercolour tutorial. And I'm really not very practiced at drawing birds or animals, so I wanted to do some in my sketchbook first and draw them from lots of different angles and try and get down the essentials of what makes this bird different from another. So once I've got these sketches and I've done these little drawings from different angles, then I'll kind of know better what makes a robin look like a robin, and I'll be able to sketch that from my imagination a little bit more. So to do this you need some kind of reference images, and I've got a few photos of robins that I've taken, but actually I'm going to use some reference photos from the internet. This is a website called Unsplash, which has lots of different photo references that you can download and use. Be careful when you're downloading things from the internet to check the conditions of being able to use them. So if I'm going to use a picture as a reference for a finished piece of artwork, I want to make sure that there are no copyright implications there. With robins you want to be careful, like I think this is an American robin and these are European robins, so I want to make sure I get the right ones. So all I want to do is sketch a few in different positions and get a sense of the robininess of them. So you'll see I've done a few here already, and I've decided to do them in this line and wash style. Really simple sketching with pen, and then I've just added a little bit of watercolour just so I can get a sense of what colours I want to use in my final project. So I'm going to start my sketch with pencil, and I'm just starting with an oval, a nice slightly flattened oval shape, and then a bigger one that overlaps it by about a third. And the bigger one is kind of about twice the height and twice the width of the smaller one. I think this one needs to come out a little bit further, and we can add more shape to this as we go along. Some robins seem to be a lot fatter, some of them are more skinny. If you want to do a skinnier robin, you just do a skinnier oval. And then we just sort of join those together with maybe a little dip. So that's the basic shape. And then we've got a tail, and the tail comes out kind of quite flat, maybe to about there. And then there's a wing, and the wing comes from about the centre of the body, kind of outwards like that. Two little legs, and they are kind of angled forwards quite a bit. And then some feet. Something like that. Now the robin's beak, so let's see, the robin's eye seems to be about in the middle of that oval for the head, maybe a little higher. And then the beak is just a little bit lower. So if the eye's going through the middle of that oval, the beak is just like underneath that line. So that's my basic shape, and now I can go in and change anything that I think needs changing. So sometimes they've got a little bit of a flatter head. They're a bit fluffy at the back. There's a line on the wing, and then really obvious feathers at the back. And maybe more of a curve down to the tail. I can go in and put in some of the markings where the colourings are. So kind of goes the red breast of the robin kind of starts about halfway up the head, goes around the eye, and then comes out, and then it's got like a bib on the front, so it goes up in the middle and down at the outside. Yeah, it's not so obvious on this one because you're seeing it all from the side, but it's got like a a raised bit in the middle of the chest there. And then it goes down, maybe goes out a little bit over the shoulder, don't know what that is, and then up to the eye, and you get this kind of patch here like that. And then around that is a white bit. So there's a white bit, the brown at the back and on the wings and the tail. There's a little white patch, and then the kind of belly is all white. Now I'm switching to my pen, and I'm going to go in and try and do some nice smooth lines around the curves. So where I went with the pencil and I did lots and lots of little sketchy lines, now I'm trying to work out which of my pencil lines that I've put in is actually the best. And I may get it wrong, but having done the work with a pencil, I'm now in a better place to kind of go in with the pen and try and work out where the best lines are. So the beak kind of comes in to a little point like that. The chest down here. And then it's actually a little bit fluffy underneath, so I can put just a few little lines in. Rather than one solid line, I can put in a few broken lines to suggest those little feathers underneath, like that. So here's my wing coming out here. Actually, I think it's going a bit further. So again, little broken lines to designate where things are more suggestive. And on the tail, a few little lines there. Let's put in his legs. So it comes from, this one that you can see comes from kind of quite a way inside his body. It's not just kind of on the bottom, but it's hidden under a few feathers. And then the feet are always bigger than you think, but then they're quite often hidden. And a few kind of rough lines to suggest that it's jointed and it's got little claws on the end. I can put in the eye. I can do that nice and round. And then I can fill it in but give him a little highlight. But then you might want to put in a few marks like around the eye to show that it's kind of recessed a little bit. And then just a few more of those suggestive lines, little wiggles back and forth that show where the different colours are. So the bit on the breast is red, this bit is white, this bit is brown. Now I can go in and remove all of those pencil marks and end up with a much cleaner shape. So let's do another one here. And it's exactly the same, it's just a case of working out how this robin is slightly different to the other one, and then giving it, like putting it in a different position at different angles. But I'm doing the same thing again. So I've got my rough oval for the head. I've got a nice fat, do a nice fat circle for the body. Actually, maybe this one's a little skinnier. The tail this time is coming out the back. The wing up there. Leg there, another leg up here, and it's holding on to a little branch like that. Again, the eye would be about in the middle of the head, and then the beak a little bit lower, like that. And then we just join that head and body together. This one, you get that kind of bib shape, the orangey red breast. So, nice quick pencil sketch, an oval, another oval, add the wing in. This time it's a bit further around the bird, so I'm only seeing the top edge of it. The tail, so if you put a mark at the centre, then the tail is kind of coming out, kind of opposite that. And sometimes the tail's a little higher, sometimes it's a little lower, depending on how the bird is balancing itself. This one has got one leg extended, another one quite short, or looking quite short. Okay, and again, I'm going to go over with the pen, try and make my lines nice and smooth. And then indicate the more feathery lines with some little scribbles backwards and forwards. In this case, the wing is heading out in this direction. There we go, like that. And I'm seeing more of like this underside bit of it. Tail comes out, and actually it's got a lovely little kind of little fluted shape at on the tail like that, which is only obvious at certain angles. Fill in a few more areas with little feathery lines. I'm going to put the eye in here, and yeah, let's give it a highlight and then fill it in. And then I can do my little lines around the robin's red breast. Like that. So these legs coming out here. Curling around this lovely branch. Put in a few lines to suggest that. and I'm feeling quite happy with the way that's looking. I'm going to finish these with just a little wash of colour, and it's going to be very, very basic. So I'm putting in some Quinacridone Gold. So a yellowy orange is a good base for this. And then a little bit of permanent rose, some kind of warm pinky red. Just drop that in there and allow those colours to blend. I'm using some sepia, but any brown. The sepia is quite nice because it's quite neutral. I'm putting that in on the back, on the tail, and I can let those colours blend. A little bit of water and I can put in some shadow areas too. Let's just use a little bit of water to lighten that up a bit. I want a little bit more definition between the body and the tail and the wing. But I don't mind if things bleed a little bit. And the same on this one. A little bit of that yellowy gold. And you can see I'm being very loose with this. Some pinky red, drop that in. Some sepia on the back and on the wing. And right out onto the tail. And then just a few little feathery marks. And just a sense of that shadow on the kind of underneath the body. You can take just a little bit of that sepia and just give them something to stand on. And the same over here. Let's just fill in that twig. So there we go, there's my page, really quick robin sketches in line and wash from all sorts of different angles. And I'm going to use these to create a kind of final finished artwork that's not based on any kind of photo reference, but is using what I've learned from doing these sketches from different angles to create my own robin sketch. So I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me, then do subscribe to the channel. So this is the final week of the current series that I've been working on, which is all watercolour and art tutorials based on, inspired by things you'd find in the woodlands. So mushrooms and trees and leaves and all sorts of things. And there's a whole range of different projects there in different styles and for different levels of ability. So hopefully there'll be something in there that you'll find interesting and want to have a go at. So the final video is going to be on Friday, and that is going to be a step-by-step robin watercolour painting tutorial. And then after that I'm going to be taking a short break, and I'll be back again soon with a new theme, brand new theme, and a whole lot of new tutorials. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks, bye bye.